Have you ever felt that quiet voice in your head? The one that whispers when you're about to give up, saying, "Don't do this, you'll regret it later." What if I told you that voice isn't your conscience? It's your future self watching you right now. Yes, the version of you who's already lived through the consequences of every decision you're making today. He or she is watching, silently, hopefully, sometimes even painfully. Before we dive deeper into this idea that might just change your love life, your purpose and your peace, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video, because what you're about to hear isn't just motivational talk. It's a guide to transforming the you of today into someone your future self will be proud of. And trust me, if you stay till the end, you'll see how this simple shift in perspective can change the way you love, forgive and grow forever. Imagine this. It's a cold evening. You're sitting alone in your room, scrolling through your phone. You see old pictures, people you've lost, mistakes you've made, chances you didn't take. And for a second it hits you. What if you had done things differently? What if you had spoken your heart? What if you had worked harder, trusted yourself more, or maybe walked away when you knew you should have? Now imagine, somewhere in the distance, your future self is watching this very moment, watching you waste your time on regrets, or letting someone's opinion break your spirit, watching you choose comfort over growth. How would they feel? Disappointed? Heartbroken? Or proud because you finally took control? That's where this journey begins. First lesson: every decision you make sends echoes into the future. Have you ever looked back at a moment in your life and thought, if only I'd walked away then? Or, if only I had told them how I truly felt? We all have that one memory that still lives somewhere deep inside. A moment when our heart knew what to do, but our fear said, wait. Imagine this. It's late at night. You're sitting on your bed, holding your phone, staring at that one chat. You type a message, then delete it. You replay every conversation, every smile, every silence. You tell yourself, maybe tomorrow I'll fix it, but you don't. And slowly, that person drifts away. Now picture your future self watching this scene. They know how it ends. The missed chance, the sleepless nights, the what-ifs. They're not angry. They're just sad because they know it didn't have to end this way. Every decision you make today, to text or stay silent, to forgive or hold a grudge, to love or to let go, sends an echo into the future. Each one builds the story your future self will one day live. You see, life doesn't just happen to you. It's shaped by you. The choices you make in love, in pain, in silence, they all carve your path. So the next time you find yourself hesitating, thinking, maybe later, remember, your future self is watching you right now, watching you choose comfort over growth or courage over fear, and deep down they're whispering, please, choose the path that won't break our heart again, because what you do today decides whether your future self smiles or regrets. Lesson 2. Stop acting like you have infinite time. Do you remember that person you thought you'd always have time for? The one you loved but kept pushing aside because you thought, they'll understand, I'll call them tomorrow. But tomorrow never came, did it? Maybe it was that one night when they texted, do you still care? And you were too tired to reply. Or maybe you thought they'd always be there, waiting, forgiving, understanding. Until one day they weren't. That's when you realize time isn't infinite. Love isn't patient forever. People don't always stay. Your future self is watching you right now. Watching. You scroll past the people who truly care, watching you waste days thinking there's always more time to say, I love you, to apologize, to change. But the truth is, one day that chance disappears quietly, and all that's left are screenshots, memories, and the sound of your own if only. Every time you delay a dream, every time you silence your heart, your future self feels the weight of that hesitation. They're whispering, please don't wait to live. So if there's someone you love, tell them. If there's something you dream of doing, start now. Don't wait for the perfect time. The perfect moment is this one, because your future self doesn't want to live with I wish. They want to live with I'm glad I did. One day, You'll look back and realize that time was never the problem, your hesitation was. So love while you can, act while it matters, and live like your future self is sitting right beside you, watching, smiling and whispering, yes, this is exactly what I hoped you'd do. Lesson number 3. Your future self learns from the pain you ignore. Have you ever told someone, I'm fine, when deep down you were breaking inside? You smiled, laughed, and acted strong. But when you were alone, your chest felt heavy, your eyes burned, and silence became your loudest cry. We all do it. We bury the pain, thinking time will heal it. But time doesn't heal what we refuse to face. It just hides it deeper. Imagine this. There was someone you loved once. You gave them everything, your trust, your heart, your sleepless nights. But they left without closure, without explanation. You told yourself you'd move on. You distracted yourself. But every song, every place, every late night memory still whispers their name. And your future self is watching. Watching you carry the same pain year after year, smiling for the world while dying inside. They want to reach through time and tell you, please let it out, cry, scream, write it down. Do anything, just don't pretend you're okay. Because every ignored wound becomes a scar your future self has to live with. The pain you avoid today becomes the emotional wall your future self will struggle to tear down tomorrow. But the moment you decide to face your pain, to forgive, to accept, to let go, something magical happens. The weight begins to lift. The nights get quieter. The memories stop hurting so much. And your future self? They finally breathe again. They look at you from the distance of time and whisper, thank you. You saved me. So don't run from what hurts. Feel it, heal it, and release it. Because your future self deserves peace, not the prison of your unspoken pain. Lesson number 4. You are teaching your future self how to be treated. Think about the last time someone hurt you. Maybe it was a lover who made you feel small, a friend who betrayed your trust, or someone who made you believe you weren't enough. You cried, didn't you? Not just because of what they did, but because you allowed it. You stayed. You forgave too quickly. You said, it's okay, maybe they'll change. But let me ask you, how many times have you told yourself that before? Every time you accept disrespect, every time you keep quiet when you should speak up, you're sending a message to your future self. This is what we deserve. And your future self, the one who just wants peace, love and respect, is watching in silence, whispering, please don't teach them that pain is love. Imagine your future self sitting across from you right now. Their eyes are tired, not from lack of sleep, but from years of watching you fight battles that never had to be fought. They want you to stop begging for love. They want you to walk away, to choose yourself, to remember your worth. Because every time you let someone cross your boundaries, your future self feels that wound deepen. But every time you say, enough, you teach the world and your own heart how to be treated. One day, you'll thank yourself for walking away from what wasn't love. You'll realize you weren't losing someone. You were saving your future self from more heartbreak. So stop letting others decide your value. Teach them by how you treat yourself, because your future self is watching, and she's praying you finally choose respect over attachment. Lesson number 5. Your daily habits are the compass of your future. Let me ask you something. When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you do? Do you grab your phone, scroll through social media, and lose yourself in other people's lives? Or do you sit for a moment, breathe, and remind yourself that today is another chance to build the life you want? Because here's the truth. Your future self is built in those quiet, ordinary moments. Imagine this. You're sitting in your room late at night. You've had a long day. You could open that book you've been meaning to read, or maybe work on your goals. But instead, you choose to scroll, to escape, to numb your mind. You tell yourself, it's just tonight. But just tonight slowly becomes a habit. And every time you repeat it, your future self feels it. That lost potential, that fading dream. They're watching you right now, whispering, please, don't waste another evening. We need this time. It's not the big choices that shape your life. It's the small, daily ones. The meals you eat, the thoughts you feed your mind, the people you surround yourself with. They're all threads weaving the fabric of your tomorrow. Even in love, the way you treat yourself today determines the kind of love you'll accept later. If you build discipline, patience, and peace, you'll attract someone who matches that energy. But if you let chaos rule your days, your relationships will mirror that too. So ask yourself, what habits are you teaching your future self to live with? Every day is a compass. Every habit is a direction. Choose wisely, because years from now, your future self will look back and whisper, "Thank you for not giving up on us." Lesson number 6. Love yourself the way your future self hopes you would. Be honest. When was the last time you truly loved yourself? Not the kind of love where you post a smiling picture, but the kind where you sit alone, look in the mirror and say, "I deserve better." You see, we spend so much time trying to prove our worth to others, texting first, forgiving too fast, staying in places where we are only half loved. We tell ourselves, maybe if I love them harder, they'll see my value. But the truth, every time you beg for love, your future self aches. Imagine her watching you, tired, eyes filled with quiet pain, whispering, "Please, stop giving your heart to those who don't know how to hold it." There was a time you loved someone deeply, right? You gave them your all. You ignored the signs, excused the distance, and kept believing love would fix everything. But it didn't. And when it ended, you blamed yourself. Your future self doesn't want you to keep repeating that story. She wants you to choose differently, to choose you. Because the love you give yourself sets the tone for every other love in your life. When you treat yourself with kindness, you attract kindness. When you respect your own boundaries, others will too. Start small. Say no when you mean no. Rest when you're tired. Compliment yourself without guilt. Because one day, your future self will look back and smile, saying, "That's when everything changed. When you finally started loving yourself the way I always wished you would." So don't chase people, chase peace. Don't prove your worth, protect it. Because your future self isn't looking for someone else to save you. She's watching, hoping you finally realize you were the love of your life all along. Lesson number 7. Don't let fear write your future. Close your eyes for a moment and think of that one dream you've always had. Maybe it's starting something new, confessing your feelings to someone, or finally walking away from a life that no longer fits you. You see it clearly in your mind, the freedom, the joy, the peace. But then fear whispers, what if you fail? What if they reject you? What if you're not enough? And just like that, you stop. You tell yourself you'll try later. You'll speak when you're ready. You'll love when it's safe. But the truth is that later never comes. Maybe there was a person once, someone who made your heart race, but fear kept you silent. You thought, they won't feel the same. So you said nothing. You watched them drift away, and years later, you still wonder, what if I had just told them? Your future self knows that pain. They've lived that regret, and they're watching you right now, hoping you'll finally take the step they couldn't. Fear isn't your protector, it's a thief. It steals chances, memories, and moments that could have changed everything. Every time you let fear decide, your future self loses a piece of their joy. But every time you act despite it, they gain strength. So take that leap. Start the thing that scares you. Say the words you've been holding back. Love like it might break you, but live like it's worth it. Because one day, your future self will look back with tears in their eyes, not from regret, but from gratitude, whispering, "You did it." You finally stopped letting fear write our story. Lesson number 8. Forgive. Not for them, but for the future you. There's someone you still think about, isn't there? Someone who hurt you, lied to you, or left you when you needed them most. You tell yourself you're over it. But sometimes, when a certain song plays, or a memory flashes, you still feel that ache, that silent anger, that unanswered why. You scroll through old messages, read the words they once said, and wonder how love could turn into silence so easily. And deep down, a voice inside you whispers, They don't deserve forgiveness. But let me tell you something. Your future self isn't asking you to forgive for them. She's begging you to forgive for you. Because every time you hold on to anger, every time you replay that pain, you relive the moment they broke you. You keep giving them space in your mind long after they've left your life. Imagine your future self watching you right now, still hurting, still haunted by a love that ended long ago. She's whispering, "Please, set us free." Forgiveness doesn't mean you forget what happened. It means you refuse to let the wound define you. It means choosing peace over poison. When you forgive, you don't say, "What you did was okay." You say, "What you did no longer controls me." And that's where healing begins. That's when your heart starts to open again, to new love, new memories, new light. One day, you'll look back and realize that forgiveness was never weakness. It was power. It was you choosing to live free. So let it go, not because they deserve it, but because you do. Your future self is watching, smiling softly, whispering, "Finally." You chose peace over pain. Lesson number 9, your future self is built in the quiet moments. Let me tell you a secret. The person you're becoming isn't shaped in the big, dramatic moments. It's not the heartbreaks, the victories, or the applause. It's the quiet choices you make when no one's watching. Think about it. The night you couldn't sleep. Missing someone you loved, scrolling through old photos. You wanted to message them to say, "I miss you," but you didn't. Instead, you took a deep breath, whispered to yourself, "It's okay, let them go." That right there was growth. Or maybe it's those mornings when you don't feel like getting out of bed, but you do anyway. The evenings when you could gossip or argue, but you choose silence. Those moments may feel small, invisible, but they're the bricks that build your future self. Your future self is watching you in those quiet moments. When you decide to stay calm instead of reacting, to pray instead of panic, to heal instead of hate, those choices don't get likes or recognition, but they're transforming you into someone stronger, wiser, softer. We often think becoming better happens suddenly, like a movie scene where everything changes. But in real life, it happens slowly, silently, through hundreds of unseen choices. One day, you'll look back and realize that the nights you cried alone, the mornings you chose peace, the times you kept faith even when nothing made sense, those were the exact moments you were being shaped into your highest self. So don't underestimate the quiet moments. That's where your soul grows. That's where your future self is born. Not through noise, but through stillness. And she's watching you now, smiling proudly, whispering, "Yes, this is how we become who we were meant to be." And the last lesson, one day, you'll thank yourself for not giving up. The truth is, your future self is not just watching. They're waiting, waiting for you to rise, waiting for you to heal, waiting for you to become everything you were meant to be. There will be days when you'll feel lost, when nothing seems to work, when love feels far away and peace feels impossible. But that's when your future self leans closer and whispers, "Keep going. You'll understand soon." And one day you will. You'll look back and realize every heartbreak, every delay, every lonely night was guiding you towards strength, patience, and peace. So the next time you're about to give up, pause, close your eyes and imagine that version of you who made it. They're not disappointed in you. They're not angry. They're just watching, hoping you'll believe in yourself one more time. Because the truth is, your future self isn't a stranger, it's you. And they're counting on you to make choices today that will make them proud tomorrow. So live with purpose, love with boundaries, and never forget, the person you're becoming is already watching. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.